We bring to you Dallas Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, guys. How you doing?
We're doing pretty good.
Great.
I gotta know, how were you doing when Jerry was talking about first-round grades and then appeared to flash a sheet of paper that looked like it had y'all's grades on it?
I thought it was an interesting conversation, but we still got a lot of draft left, so there's some things on there we probably don't want published, but obviously he was making his point, and like we said, we feel really good about our pick and Tyler Smith, and really think that he's going to bring a lot to the table for us in terms of what we have there in the offensive line, and it was getting pretty tense there at the end. We had some options to move down, but we were certainly running out of players that we were comfortable with taking in the first round.
Can you tell us anything more about that? Because the rumblings were that the Titans might have been trying to trade up to your very pick, maybe to take the exact player that y'all took. Can you tell us and your fan base anything more about that?
Well, we had two options right at the end, as many as three along the way. And I think one team lost their player along the way, but we had two wanting to pick while we were on the clock. And, it's unfair to mention teams, but there was a team that I'm actually close with the coach. And when we took the player, he said, "Be glad you didn't make the trade. That was who we were going to pick."
And so we didn't. I like it. I like that a lot. All right, so there are some thoughts on Smith that he is maybe not as polished as a prospect to go straight in and just run this thing. But watching him, he's strong. He has quick feet. We're just kind of checking out what he can do. He doesn't get beat by little guys too. What did y'all love about him, and what is the plan this year and into the future for him?
Well, I think Mike was clear, and it's a good plan, one that we've all bought into. He's going to play on the left side there. Tyron's probably the best in the business at left tackle. But at the same time, we all know past 4 or 5 years he's missed time. And, it's important that we have a guy who can slide out there and, be more than adequate. And certainly, ultimately, I do think Tyler Smith can be a top left tackle in this league. This will obviously give him time with Tyron out there to develop into that. And in the meantime, he'll be working there with Connor McGovern there at left guard, and it'll create great competition. As we all know, all these linemen play during the course of a season. And, feel good about the right side. Obviously, we put a big resource into Ball last year, and I think he's going to hold down the right side there and battle with Steele, and be prepared to back up if something were to happen to Zach. So feel good about that. And then we got our draft pick last year, Farniak, who will be competing there with Biadaz, and we'll see what the draft brings. I mean, we could, before it's over, add a little more depth there. You certainly, can't have enough big guys up front there, but feel good about what the future holds for Tyler Smith and what he can do for us. He only played 16 games at Tulsa. He is, he was redshirted, and then he played half a season because of the pandemic. Tulsa didn't play a full slate of games, and then obviously played a full slate this year. But, we think they're straight up with him. He's only going to get better. As you said, he's got all the tools. He's got great length. He's got great size, great athletic ability. Does have some things, that we'll clean up. But, that's why you have coaches in the NFL. You bring these guys in here and you coach them up, and they get better. He's certainly got the aptitude to do it. He's a smart young man, and just like I said, feel good about his future.
Now, one of the things that you are no doubt aware of is folks' favorite pastime in the world is to second-guess draft picks. Now, the person taken right after y'all made your selection was what a lot of people think is the best center in the draft. You just mentioned the pick y'all made last year, and then Biadasz. How do y'all feel about the center position? Can you tell us a little bit more? Because you said there could be a competition. Is there no established starter there right now, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think Biadasz is the man to beat for sure. Obviously Farniak's going to push him, but I think Biadasz just gets better each year. And, we're just be candid, we weren't into a center-only type situation, with what that brought to the table with the first-round pick. We wanted more flexibility in our offensive linemen, and certainly the ability to play the premier spot in the line, the left tackle position. We just felt like Smith had more value.
In the second round this evening, the plan, I know we're kind of looking at it right now, is there more of a plan to stay? Do you have interest in moving up? Is there a specific position on offense or defensive side that you're like, now it's time to go attack this a little more?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's 2 for 1 again. I mean, you got to sit there and say, is there anyone as we move forward, is there anyone, worth that move up? And, you certainly, there's some good football players, as we mentioned in some of the pre-draft stuff. This draft is heavily weighted toward the middle, so you want to be careful because you got some great opportunities to really improve this football team. And I do think there's going to be a really good football player sitting there when we pick. But if there's the right guy that we really like sitting there, and it's a surprise that he's sitting there, then we certainly would always would consider a move up if we felt like that was the right thing to do. And vice versa, if there's 4 or 5 guys sitting there we like, we're not going to hesitate to move down. But just as we decided to do last night, we didn't think the risk was worth the reward, and turned out, that it was right. We were right in staying right there and picking our guy.
Obviously, y'all are super busy during the draft. Do you get the opportunity to really focus on what some of your divisional rivals are doing? And what do you think when you see a move for A.J. Brown now coming into your division?
I mean, you always take notice. I mean, I think I said last night, the whole East got better last night. And, when you take draft picks, and especially high draft picks, the Giants had 2 picks in the top 10. The Eagles were obviously loaded up with picks coming into the draft, and certainly improved themselves. They used one of them to go get a veteran player, and another one of them just to improve their team with a big man. And I just feel like that they improved themselves as well. And Washington improved themselves with a really polished receiver. So that's the nature of the game. That's why you have the draft. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're not getting better as a team when you draft, then you need to look in the mirror. So there's no question, the East got better, but the Cowboys got better too, and we're going to get better over the next 2 days.
We have a fun logistical question for you that we've been wondering all day. How exactly are the jerseys going to go for Tyron Smith and Tyler Smith? Are we going to have to spell the first 3 letters to go along with the last name on their jersey?
They're going to be like Ichiro now for the Mariners.
Great question. I guess they'll just have to go by the number.
Okay.
You're going to have to know who's who by their number and go from there. But of course, I hadn't put a lot of thought into
That's
that.
What we're here for, Stephen. That's what we're here for.
Well, I know we'll have that sorted out here for the press conference at 2, and Tyler will have his number, and we'll be ready to roll.
Did you think Bogdanovich was going to make it, and there's going to be a Game 7?
The Mavs game?
There you go. I'm a little focused on this draft right now.
It's a heavy DFW sports happiness right now. We're all getting a lot of it right now.
And then the last thing, I know you can make things happen. The last thing we would request is I saw a player profile of Tyler Smith, and it said his favorite NFL player growing up was Barry Sanders. So if there's anything you can do to fix that,
change that to Emmett, maybe.
Yeah, we would really appreciate it.
Well, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he's going to get a lot of cowboy on him real quick. And knowing that, like I said, he's a smart young man, and I'm sure he'll figure this out in a hurry.
There you go. Thank you very much, good sir. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys. Take care.